The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway and historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted. We're a week away from Christmas, and we're bringing you the last pro wrestling show of 2018, I think. No?
Yeah, it's 18.
Yeah, because we're not doing a show next week.
But is there not another?
No,
because the first is
trade in
on
January.
Yeah.
After
Boy,
that.
we really dropped the ball on the end of year stuff.
I mean, we can do it the first
Yeah, we can do it the first.
2018.
Yeah, because we want Allie to be here for it, obviously.
Because what if Monday Night
no, I
Raw
just
is
meant-
really good one night?
I don't know why I forgot that. Like I don't know how time works in dates, so I thought we had one more week.
You know what? After this show, we'll plan it.
Nah,
Or hell, during at the end of this show, we'll plan it. One of the two.
We'll wing it.
I got stuff to do,
We'll wing it.
and that I have to go make dinner.
I got to go to Asa's strip show. Asa, what's your stripper name again?
Banana Hammock Jr.
Your stripper name is your mom's stripper name plus Junior. And that's from Michael McKeon's Twitter. Like it's why?
Welcome to
Why
Pro...
would he tweet that? He's so old.
That's why. There's no filter anymore. Welcome to Pro Wrestling Unscripted here on the Podzilla 1985 Network. Last Pro Wrestling Unscripted of 2018. And boy, you're in for a treat tonight. Shannon Young here, your host, along with the 5-star man, Asa Gray.
I don't want to do it.
The Big D, Dalton Anthony.
Yo.
And not here tonight because she had to work, unfortunately, Allie Abear.
But she's not here.
But she's not here.
Okay.
Hi. No. Hello.
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 Do her Braun.
No one can do her,
I
bro.
can't. I don't want to insult her.
Yeah, exactly. Don't insult her.
Tonight's episode of Pro Wrestling Unscripted is brought to you by the BBC.
BBC.
Big
Pre-show.
Nope.
Pre-show.
Yeah. If you want to hear, so I know we plug this a lot, but if you want to know why that's funny to us, you have to pay $1 and watch and listen to the pre-show. Not only that, but this is wrestling related. You get to hear us talk about our the sickest spots in wrestling that we've ever seen. You can listen to that on the pre-show. It's $1. You go to patreon.com/Podzilla1985 if you want to listen to that. And we got a lot to talk about here tonight. We're going to cover TLC. We have a lot of news from Raw. It was a huge Raw with a lot of changes for the better or the worse. That's going to be up to you guys. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's start off by, where do you want to start? Oh, you want to go down the list?
You can do that. I don't know. I'm out.
Are you
It's
still
the
looking
end of
things
the-
up?
No.
I'm going to confiscate phones because you guys are finding things that are way too entertaining.
No, I'm not. I'm genuinely trying to find. There's a couple things that I knew I needed to look for, like details wise for things.
Yeah.
But yeah, where did it go?
I don't want to jump straight to Raw because I think that's going to be the main
That's
topic.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Just jump around as you see fit. Like I said, I don't put these in any particular order for the
Right.
most part. I just kind of as it goes, and then
Well, let's start with
because
Raw.
work's been super busy, so I don't have a lot of time to actually like go through and make sure that like there might be stories cut into other stories.
Right.
Because I'm just cutting and pasting.
We'll start with Raw because we're not going to go over like the entire Raw thing, but I think it's important to talk about the important things that happened at Raw because if you've been paying attention to WWE lately, you know that the ratings have been down. The past couple of weeks have been the worst ratings in Raw history.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the blame fell onto Vince McMahon, obviously, because the rumor is, and I don't know if it's a rumor or a fact at this point, that he rewrote the shows. But a lot of the blame has been put on his shoulder, rightfully so. And this week, it actually started at TLC, to be fair, with Baron Corbin. But
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
they basically did the same thing again on Raw.
Yeah.
It was kind of a retread. Let's go straight to Raw and just this in particular. So Raw starts off with Vince McMahon coming back. And we knew what was going to happen.
Called it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't really call anything. It was just kind of it was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, ratings are down, calling Vince. And to be fair, did you read Vince, the segment with the McMahons was extremely highly rated, and then the wrestling segments were low rated.
Well, because it's one of those things like,
Everybody likes car wreck.
and this is going to sound really bad, but I don't think as many people are going to WWE to watch amazing wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very much a storyline-driven company, and when your storylines are not what people want to see, that's why they've been having such low ratings. Like, it's the whole people vote with their wallet, but they're going to do what they want to do anyway. And this, like, don't get me wrong. I was I enjoyed that opening segment of Raw. I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the match was really funny for what it was. But it's the whole thing of, all right, well, we just completely threw Baron under the bus for our doings.
Oh, they buried the shit out of Baron Corbin.
I mean, it's not it's not damage that can't be undone.
Well, no,
and I think everybody realizes that, like,
yeah, because
it's not really his fault. Like, this segment was not for the casual fan because those aren't the people who are complaining online.
Yeah, it's very much the hardcore fan.
Yeah, and they know that it's not actually Baron Corbin.
So that's my question. And to be, I don't know if we mentioned it because I was looking up the TV report for later. But so the McMahons come out, not just Vince, but Shane,
he
Stephanie,
introduces Stephanie, Shane, and Triple H.
So everyone but Linda, pretty much. They come out and they basically cut a promo, literally saying, "We've let you down. It hasn't been as good as it should have been. We're going to do better." And then they shifted the blame on Baron Corbin of people have been, doing things and we're going to take control and all that. And I'm not retreading that, but my question is, like, you said it was for the hardcore fans. Do you think that it would have been better off if they had openly said, if they had left the Corbin stuff out and just said, we haven't done as well? Do you think that would have gotten them more, I don't know, respect knuckles from the internet community? Or do you think it is what it is? It wouldn't have changed anything?
I don't think it would have changed much. Like, because they can't. When you have a show that's going out to millions of people, literally, you can't spend that kind of time and energy addressing something that 80% of your audience has no idea what you're talking about. They needed to bring in Baron Corbin as the storyline reason for the casual fans, for the kids who don't know that Vince McMahon is in charge, of everything still.
But is it the kids that are tuning out?
I think you are starting. I think clearly those numbers imply that you are losing some of the casual audience.
Yeah.
But I think that if you address it, but it's the same thing. You can't just drop Baron Corbin,
right?
As like you can't do that because we've seen like WWE does that all the time.
And I don't think they should because they have built him up enough that like he is, whether you like him or not, he's a legitimate. He was
the authority,
right?
So yeah, it's that.
We're the authority now.
You can't. That one of the headlines on Reddit was spoilers: Raw gets new heel authority.
Is it just IWC?
No, and it was just like us.
Oh, nice.
The WWE universe. Like, that's funny.
But do you believe them? I guess that's the other question. Like, do you think they were being sincere?
Yes and no. They did this to very much save face, but then also draw a storyline into it. And it was also a way to get like all of the McMahon cheers because none of them are in an active storyline right now.
Well, Shane.
Oh, that's right.
He's still a good guy.
Yeah, like he's still goodish, yeah. Because it was one of those like you were saying that they did the segment, you're also missing the match was the very important part of that segment. Because it was we'll give you one more chance. And the one thing they're doing the match and then every like if Baron even almost gets a leg up on Kurt Angle, they change the rules. Oh, now it's a handicap match. 4-on-1. Now it's a no disqualification match. And then he loses. The one thing that I forgot to mention is I was so entertained by it because you got to see everybody like, oh, well, the crowd. Sacramento deserved the Gold Star of the Year award for that crowd because they were doing the CCW Jeff Odell thing where they were just booing Corbin anytime he tried to talk. And then like he would try to say something, the crowd would get louder. And then like Vince, Shane, and Triple H would like, and Stephanie would all like chime in the middle while he tried. Like Vince was just like, you have a microphone. You're louder than all of them. Just try to talk. And then he would do it and they got louder. I enjoyed that segment a whole lot.
Do you think this, clearly it buried Baron Corbin, but
it buried the idea of Baron Corbin as a authority figure. It does nothing for the actual like character. That version of the character maybe, but he can always go back to kind of like lone wolf. Like now, if he's just like, okay, you cost me my dream job, I'm going to systematically pick apart
and that's
every single one of you. Like
that's where I was going with that. Is like, to what extent did it bury Baron Corbin? Because as the general manager, it absolutely buried him. But that was the point. It was to bury the character
because he's never coming back in an authoritative role. No, so that's fine.
But did his run as an authoritative figure? Did that ruin him in any way with the way that he went out? I
don't think so. Because he went out against Kurt Angle and 4 other people using weapons.
Yeah.
That's not like if he had been like pantsed and super embarrassed by just Heath Slater, then maybe.
But he has to come back as a ass kicker at this point, right? You have to. I mean, he has to come back for blood because if he so the character progression of Baron Corbin through all this was that he went from that lone wolf character who I don't care about anybody, very quiet, to kind of an arrogant, narcissistic, I'm in charge, I'm snitching on you, whatever. He was a little bitch. He was a little bitch, let's be honest. And now I don't think you can have him come back as a little bitch. He has to come back with some real chutzpah, because if he doesn't come back with chutzpah, then I feel like that's going to do a disservice to his future.
See, yeah, but that's not what you asked. Like, this itself didn't. But yeah, if he comes back and he's just like a snivelly little prick, then yeah, that's gonna.
Well, I think
there's
one feeds into the other, though. Because
it can, but we don't know yet.
We don't, but we always give him the benefit of the doubt, and we're always disappointed for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think if by burying him in this part, that will, depending on how it goes from here, we'll look back at this moment and go, this was when it ended for him, or this set him up to maybe do some of the best stuff he's ever done. Because if he does come back in a revenge story, that makes sense. The McMahons betrayed him. They got him his own ass kicking. He can literally come back as a lone wolf now and has a reason to, Yeah,
and like I said, it's possible that that's something they could do. They could just kind of put him on the back burner for a while. It wouldn't surprise me if we didn't see him for a while.
You think that's for the best, or do you do the revenge story?
I think it's kind of for the best. Give that time to breathe and then let him come back. But it all depends on what they do with him going forward, because that changes the answer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah,
so
we'll come back to this moment.
It's a moving target.
Yeah, this was either the time, this was either really well done for him. It just in the moment it was bad for him, but there's a payoff, or this was bad for him and it's just downhill from here.
Yeah. But he's the least important part of this segment. I think Corbin is, because if this is. Because this segment established that there are no more general managers. Imagine being so bad, But
isn't it just going to be the McMahons now?
Imagine being so bad at your job, you got someone else fired.
That's how bad you are.
Yeah, because that's what happened to Paige.
Yeah.
Why would they change? Okay, so Raw has sucked so bad. Now we're completely redoing SmackDown, which has not had these complaints.
Am I the only one?
It's not the perfect show, but it was
light years ahead.
It was way ahead.
Am I the only one that thinks that this just means it's going to be McMahon's only?
See, and that's what it's going to be. Now, and that's what they said. The four of them together are going to work together to work the show. Which, granted, that's storyline. It's clearly still Vince.
Yeah,
right.
Vince is still in charge. He's still. It's the same writers. It's the same,
exactly.
Nothing really.
So this is just the same old shit, right?
Pretty much, except maybe the big thing may be, okay, we will start listening to the fans more. After years and years of them shoving Roman down our throats, and Brock Lesnar, and and Baron Corbin and Nia Jax, there are people that we do, which sometimes they run with it.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, WWE champion Daniel Bryan, finally in a real spotlight since he came back. I don't think anyone can fairly say what they're going to do for another, it's going to take months. This isn't a week one fix. If what they're talking about is true and what they're working towards, they understand that this is not starting this week, Raw is great.
Right.
They have a lot of base level groundwork that they have to lay. It's what we talked about last week.
It's like Anthem. TNA.
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking the game.
I was too.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, though.
It's like with Impact, where we said, they're making some good strides to change, but it's going to be a process, and they have gotten a lot better over time.
And it's that thing where it's and I think they know that, at least if what they are telling us is true and they're not just doing all of this for pure face value, which is a possibility. If we're being honest, that is a very real possibility. Okay, you won't shut up. We'll do this for a couple weeks, and then it's just back to business as normal because we're about to get all this Fox money. And then also there might be another Saudi show in a few months, and that'll go great. But it's what we talked about last week and what I mentioned of these problems that they're running into are because of actions they took months and years ago. This is a long road to rebuilding.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really hard to judge how that goes.
Dalton, so what do you think? Do you think that this is an earnest attempt to change and that they're being sincere, or was this just a knee-jerk reaction to ratings are down, we have to do something, this is the easiest way to do it, is to say, yeah, we messed up and we're going to make it better? Do you think they're going to string it along, or do you feel like they actually want to change?
I don't feel like they want to change just because I've heard this song and dance before.
And been burned once?
Yeah. Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. finally listening to the crowd. And granted, that was not Vince's fault. That was not Daniel Bryan's fault. That was not anybody's fault. That was Daniel Bryan had an injury that he had to take care of, and that's why they had to take the belt off him. So, like, we don't know how long that title reign was supposed to be.
Right.
It's the same thing with Finn Balor winning the Universal belt. Of like, holy shit, like they're gonna give us something different. But then he dislocated his shoulder in the match.
Right.
Because
a spot that they're still doing.
Because who's all right? No, I don't even want to hear that.
They are.
Anyway,
no one ever got hurt on a body slam. You know I'm trolling you, right?
All right, good.
Okay, thank you.
I was about to say, I was about to yell.
I know.
But like, we don't know how long Finn was going to have that belt. He could have lost it the next month to Lesnar. We don't know. Like, we don't know.
Right.
So like, they'll give us glimpses of that. I mean, and that's always something like Impact has done that before. Right after Bryan won the belt, they gave it to Eric Young, who probably should have had that belt years before. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those, like, they'll give you glimpses of it. It's very much like the Coke dealer aspect of it, of just like, I'll give you a hit for free because you're going to want more of it. It's still the same shitty Coke. Like,
and you stay hooked. We still watch it. We still pay attention.
Because that's the whole thing. Like, people's like, I'm going to cancel my network. All right. And like, granted, now, like, it's a lot easier to, like, because if I want to watch something that is not WWE, it is not near. I got 2 apps on my phone where I can just watch New Japan or watch Ring of Honor.
Right.
Whereas like 10 years ago, that was not a thing. But it's still, they are the main competitor if you want to watch wrestling.
You saying Coke makes me think of, holy crap, it's that conspiracy theory that Coke sales were down, so they made New Coke knowing that New Coke was going to tank.
Just to bring back
Coke Classic.
Yep.
So this last like 6 months has all just been like, no, yeah, we're going to make it as bad as possible.
So when we make slight changes.
So now when we go back to normal, everyone's going to be super happy.
So like, and that's, and I'll keep using that, or I'll take that and kind of elaborate on it. All right. Seth Rollins, how long have they been pushing Seth Rollins? When did the Shield break up?
As a singles competitor?
When did the Shield break up? 2014?
I would argue even before, like, with the Shield.
But yeah, no, so like,
but as a single star, like, yeah, pretty much, like, because he was the one that broke them up.
Yeah.
The moment he hit them with a chair.
All right, so for 4 years, we have had Seth Rollins not... God damn it.
That video?
Yeah, I know. Seth Rollins, who has been a focal point of WWE. Grant, he has not been Roman, he has not been Lesnar, he has not been Styles.
No, he's an architect.
God, why do you do that? He has not been the focal point of a show, like, in earnest. Like, they haven't put the main belt on him since his first title run. So, but you have him. He is like probably your only other person that they've really tried to build up besides Roman Reigns. Well, I mean, like, but for this, like,
not on the same level, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like Roman Reigns is so far up there, but like Rollins is right. Like,
well, no one's Roman level, but this at the same time, like, you can't overlook guys like
Elias,
AJ, and Ambrose.
Okay,
and
fair enough.
Rollins.
Oh, okay, those
like,
guys.
But they've legit given them title runs, whereas Rollins has not had a main title run.
Mm-hmm.
I think they gave him the belt for like one night. Oh yeah, he won the belt from Roman and Dean beat him for it. That was the last time he had the top belt. So you've been building this guy, and he's kind of your like ace in the hole. So we're doing this new matchups, new action, new blah blah blah. So whenever they let Rollins beat Lesnar for the Universal belt, are they really giving us anything new? Are they just giving us something that we haven't seen in a while?
Everything
that they can trust,
yeah.
That they know they can trust him. Because I will say, like, Rollins has been a lot like more reliable after his knee injury.
Yeah. Well, it's the
whole thing, and he's your ace in the hole. You know, he's not going to, like, Rollins doesn't put on a bad match. So you give us something new.
Yeah.
Even though we've had it before.
See, but I think
it's the Simpsons thing. I gotta get this out before I forget about it. Then I'm gonna go right to you. It's when Malibu Stacy, when Lisa builds her own doll because they're sick of Malibu Stacy, and they're running to get that new Lisa Lionheart doll, but then they wheel out the new Malibu Stacy, new and improved with the new hat.
Yeah,
but it's the same Malibu Stacy.
See, but
it has a new hat.
But I think the difference is that the support behind Rollins has always been more organic than Reigns.
Yeah.
So like there are people who are clamoring for him to have a match with Brock and have been for a very long time. So I think that is more of giving them what they want. Like, it's not like they can't do what they did with Jinder, where just out of nowhere, this dude has not won a match in a year and a half, and now all of a sudden, no, he's legit. He's the WWE champion.
It'd be like they did it with Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah,
it just
like,
wouldn't. Yeah,
it's not. It doesn't. Or Zack Ryder even.
Right.
Like yes, that is people that
It's
they're clamoring
shocking.
for, and it would be shocking, but that doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
And so like I said, I don't think that is a fair comparison because now you do have guys like Styles, like the closest thing that I think that they could do that where it would be believable and not terrible would be Kofi. If
completely out of nowhere?
If something happened and just Kofi wins a top title, not necessarily over Brock or someone, but like if he won the Rumble, I think you could build for that. I don't know if that's necessarily from a business strictly like mainstream, this is the one that they're going to be talking about on NBC. I don't know if Kofi is the person you want going in challenging for the Universal title, but that is a solid, like him versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
You could do that.
So I have a question. You mentioned Rollins and Reigns, and this just popped in my head. Do you think, or how the organicness of it, do you think if they had switched the roles and Rollins was the one that they had pushed down our throat and Reigns was the one that got more of the Rollins treatment of the same kind of storyline progression, do you think they would have turned on Rollins like they did Reigns, or do you think it was just because it was Reigns?
I very much do. Like, I don't think it mattered who it was. It wasn't Daniel Bryan. That's who the crowd was booing, was not Daniel Bryan. It didn't help that then all of a sudden the machine is behind this guy who is not Daniel Bryan.
So you think it could have been, no matter who they put in that role, same
look
reaction?
at the internet, like look at just the internet wrestling community as a whole. You can go on any forum, any website that's about wrestling, and there is not a single person on the roster that is not getting trashed.
It's true.
People are complaining about Becky. They're complaining about Ambrose. They're complaining about Rollins. They complain about Lesnar.
Bliss.
It's got like Daniel Bryan. It's new. We're 2 weeks in, or we're like less than a month in at this point. Maybe a little over a month.
A little over a month.
In 2 months, really? Oh, he's talking about SUVs again.
Oh, he kicked somebody in the balls.
Because fickle.
Yeah,
and we're guilty. All three of us here are guilty of it. But I feel like we tried to not be as negative as, just blindly spouting, "Oh, this is so stupid. I'm not watching anymore."
Well, because we're not unrealistic. Like when we complain something like there's usually a valid tendency behind it, and we're not also like outwardly shitting on the performers.
Right.
Like a lot of people just like to say stupid stuff
Right.
just for the sake of saying stupid stuff.
Like after that match at TLC, that people saying like, "Oh, look, this just proves that Ambrose can't deliver on a big match and Rollins isn't that good." Like, you're out of your mind.
Because
I
it
thought
was
it
a
fine
good match.
Yeah.
It was okay.
It was a fine match.
I went back and rewatched it, but it is not what it should have been. And did you notice the crowd chanting "This is boring"?
I didn't, but I think we were doing something at the time.
Because that's when pizza came.
Shit, pizza break.
Yeah, we were. I mean, we
Oh
were
yeah,
watching.
because the women's match was the main. I was trying to think of what the main was that night.
Oh, what?
Which I mean, and it was put in a rough spot because it was right after that Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match, which was.
And before the women's match.
I think
right?
it was either Meltzer or someone on Reddit or someone was talking about. It's like that's like we just watched a New Japan match, but in WWE. Like they just kind of threw the WWE playbook out the window and said, "No, we're going to wrestle how we want to wrestle."
Go do what you want.
Yeah.
I think the thing that we need to take from this is that whenever would you classify this as New Coke or Coke Classic?
Real quick, I think the main thing that we need to take from this, and honestly, I think a lot of people need to take from this, is you cannot judge it after a couple weeks. We have to wait and see if it does slowly revert back to just same old status quo. Then it was probably all for face value. But like, if it changes how we hope it does, that's something that's going to take months and years.
So I thought about this when we were discussing this earlier, and I didn't mention it, and it just reminded me. Other than the McMahon segment, and honest, because I didn't watch it, I watched the highlights. Mm-hmm. So if you guys didn't watch it either, someone out there who did watch the whole show, please explain to me.
Oh, my internet was messing up that night.
Was it different? Because it seemed like it was the exact same stuff it's been. Elias and Lashley. Like, I don't know, other than McMahon coming out and saying this is going to be different, I don't see what was so different about this show compared to the past few weeks.
That's the thing, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're not going to see a major difference right away. Like I said, it's going to take a very, very, very long time. It's not a slow burn in the sense that, they're planting seeds for a Mania feud now. Mm-hmm. I'm talking a slow burn that we're not going to see results from this until 2020, 2021.
But you don't think that there's anything they could do in the immediate future of better writing, stuff like that,
I think
other than just the call-ups?
In my opinion, we saw more of it on Smackdown. You saw Almas in the main event.
And Mustafa Ali.
You saw Mustafa Ali, who's the newest member of SmackDown, in the main event. The Revival won a number one contendership match for the Raw Tag Team titles. You got that feel-good moment with Baron Corbin getting his butt kicked by all the all of the faces who, a lot of those are kind of indie, like internet darlings that just haven't been used.
You had the women's match at the end, which went an hour long, the gauntlet. Like the women were the entire top hour.
And again, just really solid wrestling.
Yeah.
With Bayley and Mickie James and Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke.
Natalia.
Like it was. So I think, that kind of focus, like, I don't think this was, I never thought this was going to be like a hard reboot. I didn't think this was going to be a draft because I don't think they could do that this close to Mania.
Right.
I didn't think this was going to be just like, okay, we are dropping all storylines and we're stripping all the champions. We're starting all over.
Because you know who did that?
WCW.
WCW, before they went out of business when they did, what was it, Dalton? The Millionaires Club versus
New Blood.
And that started, like, it sounded like a great idea on paper because people were so sick of the WCW formula. But then, same old bullshit.
Yeah.
But,
so, like I said, I never thought we were going to get that level. And it's going to be little things like, okay, so now there's no general managers. Now it's all, but again, if this does just devolve into McMahon Family Drama Hour, I'm out.
That's what I'm afraid of. It's going to go back to the 90s.
Not out in the sense that I'm not watching it anymore, but just like, well, I have no interest.
Right. But to be fair, that time period we all hated with the McMahons was better rated than, ratings were up.
Yeah, but that's kind of an unfair comparison.
Well,
just because of what.
But I bet you the McMahons will use that.
I mean, yeah. Because, it's the same thing of like, oh, ratings are down. Let's put on Vince.
A McMahon in every hour is what it's called.
So I don't know. I think people need to be patient with it. But at the same time, if you are not patient with it, you've kind of earned that. Like, I'm not going to fault anyone for
tapping out,
not giving them the benefit of the doubt and bailing. But at the same time, I would like for people to be more patient because, again, like,
look at Impact.
Yeah, I mean, it is doable. It's just I think it's a matter of, does Vince truly think that, okay, I have made a misstep? Because from all of the stories that we've heard about Vince, it seems like ego is a issue. So, but if he's willing to actually take that reflective look on himself and look at these numbers and like, okay, this isn't working. I am going to listen to what the fans are saying. I'm going to listen to people that he has with him other than like his designated yes man. Like, like he's going to take input from Triple H, who has proven that he has a knack for storytelling and building up characters and making stars in NXT.
Yeah.
Which, granted, NXT, WWE, that's just a whole other conversation.
Right.
So, but like,
it's like comparing apples to Naruto blowjobs.
Stop it. Quit giving away all the fun stuff. Like you give away Naruto blowjobs. I don't know where I was going. Oh, like if he brings in Triple H to help him, like, right, if he trusts his writing team, assuming that the writing team isn't
awful. There is a writing team anymore, and it's not just Vince in a room.
I think people need to be patient with it, and I would like to think that this could be the turning point of something special. But again, I don't think it's going to be something we really see at Mania. Maybe next Mania is when it really kind of.
But they definitely need to do something. This isn't just football had a big night and ratings were down. Like, this is a consistent decline, and they really need to stop the bleeding. The question is, are they actually stopping the bleeding, or do they just put a Band-Aid on it and then hope that it goes away?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're gonna follow it, obviously, because whether or not we enjoy it all the time or not, we will report on it for you guys. We do have to move on, though, because that was a 30-minute discussion. Which,
holy shit.
Hey, good on us.
Well, we don't have to do a Raw and SmackDown recap now.
Yeah, we do.
We'll go over
Damn it.
Let's go on to other stuff, though, and this is a big story, too. Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Adam Page say goodbye to Ring of Honor. Now, I did see this, that they were saying their goodbyes, but I didn't know what that meant exactly. Like, is this we're definitely signing to this Elite Wrestling and we're leaving, or was this just their contract at Ring of Honor was up? What was going on?
It's pretty much that their contracts are up.
Yeah.
This is very much fueling the speculation that AEW is a thing, and because Cody has said like there's going to be a huge announcement in January, not necessarily regarding it, but he made that statement when people were questioning him about AEW. It'll be interesting to see, but either way, like even if it just turns out they're not re-signing with
ROH,
with ROH, I almost said New Japan, which also could be a possibility. Wrestle Kingdom's gonna be real interesting, given some of those championship matches.
Well, it's also one of those things, like we see this almost every. Well, I don't think it happened this last Wrestle Kingdom, but like we always see a coup of a couple people,
right?
And recently with NXT being a thing, like because we had the one. Ooh, man, that match was almost 3 years ago. Or it was 3 years ago. But, like, the Nakamura AJ Wrestle Kingdom 10.
Yeah.
4. Gallows, Anderson, Nakamura, and AJ all left.
Right. And there's always rumors of WWE is talking to people in New Japan. People are in discussions, especially with what seems to be somewhat of a tumultuous time between wrestlers and management of New Japan under the new management, or the new ownership, I should say. So it'll be an interesting Wrestle Kingdom.
It'll be interesting 2019.
Yeah.
2019 is shaping up to be pretty good.
Because even like with ROH, like this isn't the first time the Bucks have waited to the last minute to re-sign with ROH, but this, and correct me if I'm wrong because you would know better than I would. Excuse me, I'm dying. But this is the first time that they've made such a showing of actively saying goodbye. They've teased the idea of, like, well, we don't know what the future holds, but this was them saying,
bye,
thank you, and
because that seems like a tease that would go too far to just flat out say goodbye.
Unless it's, again, like tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, AEW is ROH.
Like they're just going to rebrand ROH,
and they're buying ROH.
Yeah.
I don't think they have that money.
I feel like that would be a mistake too, because ROH is like, and maybe I'm wrong because I'm not.
And again, that is baseless speculation, crazy person talk.
Yeah, because Ring of Honor is
no
a
source
name.
to that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
not like that's not something that's not even something I think is a real possibility.
Moltar told you when he came to visit you in the middle of the night in the cornfield.
Yeah.
Moltar.
Miss Space Ghost.
Yeah, I was like, why did I automatically go to Space Ghost?
See, and like I hear this, and it's one of those that it could be that they're saying, perfect world is they're saying goodbye to their contracts.
Mm-hmm.
They can still work with Ring of Honor. They can still work with New Japan, but they're not going to be under an exclusivity contract, which like nowadays is harder and harder to do because like even Cody was talking about it whenever he won the ROH belt, which was I wasn't under contract. They just kind of trusted me to show up, which he was like, I'm going to do it. Like,
right. He wasn't going to dick them over like that.
Yeah. But it's one of those like, they're probably doing this. I want to say I obviously no base, but I'm hoping they're doing it because they want to work more than just Ring of Honor New Japan, which for the last year is all they've really been able to do except for All In.
Just you saying that, where else would they go though? Like, where do they want to go that isn't because we have a decent idea of what they make for appearances.
About to say Nick Jackson just recently said, and I'm sorry I cut you off right there, but like for Final Battle they did a Rockers in themed attire, the Bucks did, and somebody was like, oh yeah, no, emulate somebody because you'll never make it. And Nick Jackson was just like, I made 7 figures last year, so I'm pretty sure I made it, asshole.
Yeah, like but it's that thing is like
as the world's biggest rocker fan, by the way, I just want to say like shut up, like saying that they're not as big as the Rockers. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. They're bigger.
Yeah, I agree.
They were able to stay a team.
Yeah, and like not only that, but I love the Rockers. They were legit my favorite tag team of the '80s. But I mean, come on, they weren't selling out on their name alone.
Right. People kind of romanticize the Rockers because of how famous Shawn Michaels got.
Yeah. If Shawn had left the business like Marty Jannetty had, the Rockers would have been just another. Oh, they were a good tag.
They were really good, kind of groundbreaking for their time. Yeah. But
they would have shown up on Legends of Wrestling too.
They would have. Yeah.
But
they'd be making the rounds here in Cave,
But we know but we know what kind of money they can make.
Yeah.
Where else are they going to go? Because I don't think they love wrestling so much that they are willing to come to CCW for not their full payday.
Yeah.
Not saying that they don't love wrestling, but at the same time, they have families that they need to support, and it's a business.
And it's one of those like.
But where do you go? Like Impact, I don't think they're not going to sign with Impact. I would be shocked.
Yeah. If
they sign, especially like any sort of exclusive deal.
It would have to be WWE or their own thing.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of like, but they are saying that they're not signing to WWE, but we don't know that for sure because WWE hasn't announced anything, which they're not going to unless they sign them, of course.
Yeah, and that's another one of those things where it's like now that Cody has even said like I can't go anywhere that won't let me have full creative control.
Yeah,
we know, and that is a very much for as much as if Vince is saying like, okay, I'm taking a step back, reevaluating things, I'm going to listen to the crowd, I'm listening to other people. That's a step for him, and if it's true, then that's great. But okay, I'm going to sign 5 guys, and I don't get to touch them. They're just going to come in, they're going to pitch me their ideas, and that's what we're doing. That is a bridge too far. That's not going to happen.
Because Vince wouldn't let that happen.
Conspiracy theory doesn't say that this is all tied together with WWE. that they are signing with WWE because they are going to be in control
Listen,
of their own thing?
If you want to get into it, WWE owns every company. They own New Japan.
Of course.
They own
of course.
They own
Oh, I
Impact.
hate all of you.
This is
Yeah.
all just
This
one
is-
mega conglomerate
it's the Bilderberg
owned
Group.
by Ted Turner.
Yeah, of course.
Oh shit.
He's right.
Yeah, I swerved you.
Yeah.
Did you bamboozle?
Bamboozle.
But either way, like
What if-
them leaving ROH is news, and it's kind of. But the weirdest part to me is it's not Marty. Like Marty is very clearly staying in ROH because they just gave him a stable.
Yeah,
Yup.
didn't they show wasn't there a picture of him just sitting alone?
At
I need
Crackle Barrel.
I need people to stop sharing that picture because I know it's funny and it's a joke, but it gets me. There is something about that of him just sadly looking at all of those chairs that say for sale and just looking so sad. And I'm like, oh,
But didn't
That one right there.
yeah.
So didn't they say
Son
that they
of a
would all?
bitch.
Didn't they all say they would all grow as a group? Was
See, and that's-
was Marty not a part of that group?
See, and that's the thing is it's like they made that agreement that they're not going, but that's what kind of makes me think that like these contracts are so weird. Like this might be them saying that they are exclusive, like they're not exclusive with ROH. Do we know if Marty has that deal? Is he exclusive to Ring of Honor?
I think he is.
Okay.
I know. Well,
And
no. I know that Flip Gordon recently signed an exclusivity contract back in September.
Yeah, it's been a couple months ago.
Yeah, because it was right after CCW.
And we talked about it even. But like
Yeah.
but I mean and it also just may be that his contract's not up yet. He might
Yeah.
have signed at a different time or signed a different deal. So it's not, it may have just been, okay, these are when our contracts are up.
Right.
And then, but like,
When you're done, come join us.
exactly. It's not like, if AEW is a thing and it is their own promotion, it's not like when Marty's contract is up, they're not going to bring him in.
Right.
They might do a storyline thing where they don't bring him in, but it'll be a storyline. And that'll be like a Being the Elite thing.
So you don't think this is like a radical situation where Benoit, Malenko, Saturn, and Guerrero left Shane Douglas? I think it was Shane Douglas, wasn't it? Back in WCW, where they all said they were going to leave together, and they left and he stayed.
Yeah, no, I don't think
But there
that-
might actually be a payoff for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Sorry,
that at all.
Shane.
He's probably listening. He probably wants on the show.
He's got all that Zombies versus Pro Wrestlers money.
It's a great film. Moving
It's so
on.
good.
Trish Stratus just got passed up by Mickie James as the female wrestler with the most matches on Monday Night Raw.
Yep, that gauntlet match.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pastor.
Which is nuts because Trish Stratus, well, I guess Mickie has done way more appearances.
See, well, and it's been longer.
Yeah.
Because you also have to think, like, Mickie spent, so much time in TNA at the time, in Impact. And
Wasn't that the same time where Trish just retired?
And also, like, pursuing her music career. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, when you think about, like, how long Mickie has been wrestling,
Yeah.
it's easy to look over the fact that, yeah, she was wrestling, it just wasn't with WWE.
You remember the way that Lita went out?
Oh, yeah. Mickie James beat her for the title, and they just completely shit on her the entire time.
No, wasn't it Trish that beat her for the title? It was Trish.
No.
Yeah, because
Was it? Because, Trish left the week after or something
Yeah,
like that.
with the title.
Yep.
And Crime Time came out and sold like her underwear and personal belongings.
They had like butt cream or something like
Yeah,
that.
the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I read an interview with Lita like a couple days ago where she talked about that and said that she pushed so hard for that not to happen. And, she did it anyway because that's what they wanted her to do, but she wishes that was not a thing. And who can blame her? Because, man, I always thought that was super disrespectful. I mean, I get it because she was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, like, when you're in a horror movie, you don't want to survive if you're an actor in a horror movie. You want to be one of the people that's murdered because that's more fun. So I imagine if you're a bad guy, you want your exit to be as bad as possible. Like when Eric Bischoff got beat and he got pulled out screaming and crying, from WWE.
Sir. He was thrown in a dumpster.
Oh, it was Jericho.
Yeah.
That got pulled.
Yeah,
screaming
he
and
got thrown in
crying,
a dump trunk. Bischoff did.
Well, yeah, he got dumped. Congratulations to Mickie James. Still looking great in the ring every time she goes out there. She's such a talented wrestler. I love Mickie James. Lindsay hates her because she used to come out with remember the old Mickie James? She'd come out in the skirt and she'd do her little dance and she came out. Oh, Lindsay couldn't stand it. The only woman she hates more in wrestling is Christy Hemme. She despises Christy
I
Hemme.
met her.
You met Christy Hemme?
Yeah. During that horrible Impact show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I've met so many wrestlers through that show.
I remember that because I remember thinking like, wow, Christy Hemme is gorgeous in person. I never realized it. Oh, there's no wrestlers here tonight. Oh. Goddamn, we could have met each other then, and it's just fate wasn't on our side. All right, moving on. Nick Miller from the group TM61 granted his release from NXT.
Yes.
And I forgot that their name was before, which is a much cooler name, was
TMDK.
which is
The Mighty Don't Kneel.
what a great name. But TM61 is pretty good too. That's a Pokemon move.
Shane Thorne is still with the company. He's going forward as a singles wrestler, apparently. But yeah, he just Miller just had a child and lives in Australia. His family's in Australia. They weren't really doing much with them. I think it was Meltzer even said like the door. This isn't like they're parting on bad terms at all. It's just the door's still open, but
He just wants time to spend with his family.
right.
Yeah.
Which good for him and congratulations. I like them as a team. It kind of bummed that did both of them get hurt or just one of them? Dalton.
What?
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Did just one of them get hurt? Because they came back from injury relatively recently.
Yeah, no, it was just one of them because I think they use the other one every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't ask me which one. That's the one tag team that I'm just like I know
I get
one
it.
is I know one is Shane Thorne and I know one is Nick Miller.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Also, TM61 is Will-O-Wisp in Pokemon.
Yep.
That was we were talking about it whenever, was it you that told me that or Sadie that told me that?
It was me.
It was you. Sadie was sitting next to me. I was like, I just remember that Shark Cage match. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the one where Enzo was in the cage?
That was the really bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Raw and what are we going to do to fix things? Well, they made a bunch of call-ups. And we already knew Lars Sullivan was coming up because they have been promoting the shit out of him. I don't necessarily buy that he's the hottest free agent in like WWE history. I get why they do it. Of course.
No, that's
Right.
MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you, Montel.
We also had Lars Sullivan. We had EC3. That's Ethan Carter III.
Yep.
Former Derek Bateman.
Did you see his video?
I did.
So, like, that is as weird as I know he wanted it to be.
He is such a cool guy,
An
too.
ass popping out of them pants, though.
Heavy Machinery. I don't know their names. And I'm
Otis
sorry.
Dozovich and Tucker Knight.
Yeah.
So Otis and Tucker.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to say Dosovich. Dozovich. That's a bitch. Of a name to say.
Jesus Christ.
Lacey Evans, who I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
I love her gimmick of like
She's going to bring some class to it.
she's like the World War II pinup girls or whatever. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love her so much. Nikki Cross, who should have already been called up.
Yeah.
A long
Which
time
makes
ago.
no sense at
Well,
all.
they
Killian Dane had a really sweet tweet. I say it was sweet. It was just be like, about bloody time or something like that.
And they wonder where she's going to go. I bet she goes to Raw.
Away from
Probably.
sanity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
away from Sanity.
I mean, not that anyone would notice. Because that's the thing, is we kind of talked about it in the group chat last night, and Matt Fowler put it perfectly. There's only so much fluff you can stuff into the Build-A-Bear. Like, look at some of these NXT call-ups. Like, Ember, what is Ember Moon doing?
She is, all right.
What is Andrade Cien Almas doing? And remove SmackDown from the equation. Like this week, remove that entirely. No Way Jose, Sanity, hasn't been seen in months. There are so many call-ups that they've already brought up recently.
Sanity was in that Survivor Series match.
And they were on SmackDown, too. To be
They were
fair.
the only one that won.
Okay, so they
But-
did that, and then
but Ember
but on
Moon's been on-
SmackDown, what have they done?
Yeah, fair.
They were on this SmackDown. To be fair, they
They
were on
lost
this
to New Day.
SmackDown. They attacked New Day and
The Usos.
yeah after the match and left them laying.
Mhm.
So they're
No, and-
trying to put them back.
No, what
in
I'm saying
now.
is remove this week.
Oh, okay.
Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's what he's-
remove this week, and you look at like
Ember Moon at least has been on weekly.
she's been on,
hasn't-
but
she's
she's
won and
done
lost.
she's done nothing
Well, she
meaningful.
feuded with the Riot Squad, which is basically Limbo.
No, she feuded with well, recently she's been feuding with Nia and Tamina.
she was the filler because they don't want to wear the shine off of Ronda.
Yeah.
So they've just been having Ember lose.
But Asa, speaking of stuff, how much stuff can you stuff in a stuffy till a stuffy stuffed enough stuff?
Jesus Christ.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Someone out there got the reference. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you heard it last night, but once again, we want to give a shout out to Tori Class for is it Glass or Class? It's Class.
Class?
It's Class. He's a class act, is what he is. Oh, is it Tori Class? Because if it's Tori Class, then he's a class act, and if it's Tori Glass, then there's no glass ceiling for Tori.
I'm looking it up right now.
Either way,
Tori Class.
Tori Class. He's been a PW fan for years and one of our longtime listeners. He messaged us, and you too can get a shout out on the air if you just message us and tell us how much you love us. All right. That's what God does.
Wait, what? I haven't gotten that message.
Anyway, so of these people, I feel like Heavy Machinery is going to be pushed to the moon immediately because they're so big and dangerous,
Nope.
and then dead in the water later.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
They will be in a tag team feud, and then they're just
Nothing.
another tag team. And that's what I'm saying is like you have your roster is not the problem.
No, it's
They're
the
saying
writers.
they're saying they want fresh matchups. There's a lot of fresh matchups you can do because you only do the same 3 matches
Yeah.
every single week leading into a pay-per-view.
We talked about the Attitude Era and how you had guys like Edge and Christian where they felt just as important as Stone Cold and The Rock because they would mix together so often. And you saw a perfect example of that on SmackDown when Mustafa Ali teamed up with AJ Styles to take on Daniel Bryan and Adrian. I can never pronounce this correct. Okay, you please help me out.
AJ Styles?
AJ Styles and
It was
Mustafa
AJ Styles
Ali versus Daniel Bryan and
Andrade Cien Almas.
I always screw up his first name. So I'm just going to say Almas from now on. But they don't really...
Where he pinned Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And that is a great way to really kind of introduce...
And they could do the same thing on Raw. You
Also,
don't
the
have
fact
to...
that they call it the 054. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea.
I don't...
Lacey Evans is going to die in the water, I think. The only ones that I think will actually do well is EC3 and Lars Sullivan. Everyone else will be forgettable at some point.
I mean, that's
even
just
Lars Sullivan will be forgettable because they do
even
this,
EC3 will be forgettable.
But Lars Sullivan is that same character you've seen over and over again. Big strong guy comes in, monster push. They'll cool off on him,
and then he loses, and then
they'll bring him back.
And then
every
he's
once in a
just
while.
another guy.
He's the next Rusev.
And like I said, that's my problem. I will say the one thing in defense of this is a group of people you can pull from NXT who are arguably ready for the main roster, but they're not really doing anything in NXT right now.
Yeah, it's
They're
not
just
hurting NXT.
Yeah,
at all.
you're
Like,
not-
If you pulled Ricochet right now,
Yeah, that
Big
would
mistake.
be, or like Undisputed Era or something like that, like
Yeah.
Aleister Black, Gargano, Ciampa,
Grant-
any of them. Like,
granted, we are pulling the champion, the first two that we said were champions, and we kind of understand that we can't do that.
Right.
But like, you get what we're saying.
but still, yeah, like I mean, they're on house show reports, but like weekly shows, they're not really doing. None of them are really doing anything meaningful.
Yeah.
Although I think Lacey Evans might be in that Fatal 4-Way. That might be a spoiler, or it might just be wrong. I don't know.
And all of these people are big enough names
Oh,
that
just real quick, I need to correct myself because I said at the next takeover they should do 3 of the 4 horsewomen in a tag match, in a 6-person tag, and then Shayna Baszler can defend in the 4-way. I forgot that the 3 remaining other than Ronda are Shayna Baszler, and then Jessamine Duke and Mina Shafir.
Yeah. Also, Lacey Evans is in that Fatal 4-Way. It was announced December 11th.
Okay,
So no
so yeah,
spoilers.
so
she's
we know
not
who's
winning.
not going to win that.
Jesus. Maybe
Also,
she will, and she'll go to Raw like Kevin Owens did with the NXT title.
Yeah, but they've already set a precedent that you can't be called up to the main roster like full time
Oh, all right.
because they stripped Paige and I think one other person. I thought
I'm pretty
You know
sure.
who else
Might have
stripped
just
Paige?
No, Ember Moon, or not Ember Moon.
Asuka
Asuka
forfeited. Well, she was
forfeit-
injured.
No, you're right. Well, no, how did they do that?
No,
Was
Asuka
it-
got injured
Oh,
and then
that's right.
had to relinquish the belt, and then she didn't go back to NXT. She just went to the main roster.
You were absolutely
Because then
correct, and I
Ember Moon
apologize.
fought somebody for it, and Ember Moon won. No.
And then
Was
As-
it Baszler?
No, it
No,
wasn't
because Baszler beat Moon for
was
it.
it Nia?
No,
Nia had already
who
been up
was
there.
it? Oh God, I'm on it. Just keep
Yeah,
talking.
look that up. I
Yeah,
don't know.
because I have no idea. All right, so moving on while Dalton looks that up real quick. We mentioned earlier Mustafa Ali did officially join the SmackDown roster. He's gone from 205 Live.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Mustafa Ali or bad?
We'll see.
That seems to be the
I mean,
point
that's
right now.
yeah.
Is just,
It's
we'll
and I know
see.
that's probably a cop out answer, and a lot of people are. But like, I would like to think it's good. He has that undeniable underdog feel and style and reaction.
I feel like he could have a really good feud with Daniel Bryan because they're both so similar in that Daniel Bryan could say, you know, I was an underdog too.
I used to be a lot like you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now I'm better.
I mean, and even then, like he can have like, and he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, so he can have great matches with anybody on that roster.
I'm
It'll
also-
just be.
And I know this is going to sound bad. I know it's going to sound bad, but it's good. I'm so happy that there is a wrestler named Mustafa Ali that is a face in a
Oh yeah, and he's not just the stereotypical like
Muhammad
Character.
Hassan
right
type thing.
What
yeah.
they, to be fair, what they turned Muhammad Hassan into.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you shouldn't have to
Which,
say that.
have you heard his interviews talking about that?
I have not.
Because he was that character for a very long time on the independent scene, and it wasn't until he saw like a small child recoil from him from fear, and him kind of thinking like, "Oh, I'm teaching him
To
that
fear.
people who look like me should be scared of," and he never wanted to do that. So from then on, he refused to be a heel, at least with that gimmick,
And that's a good point.
which is wonderful.
Yeah, that is a really good point because the last thing we want to do is instill like a bias
Right.
against like, why are you a bad guy? Because I am foreign.
Right.
That is a bad precedent to set.
She beat Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce.
It
in
was
Fatal
that
4-Way.
4-way because it had that really sweet moment where Billie Kay didn't go out to the ring with Peyton.
Yeah,
Like
they did
said,
the entrance.
they said goodbye after the entrance because she believed in her. The Iconics. What the are they doing with them?
Boy, they have butchered the
No.
Iconics.
they were
butchered them.
they were so funny.
You know
whenever they
what?
first
I
came
take
out.
it back. Don't be patient.
Just burn it
Just
down.
burn it. Burn it down.
Set it on fire.
Seth Rollins.
Burn it.
Until only ashes.
Holy shit, that's the name of my next album.
Until only ashes.
Until only ashes. Damn, that's good. Can I have that?
No.
I'm using it.
Damn it. All right.
Also, no.
I'm using it. There's no.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to return soon. That's good.
Yeah, we got vignettes
Yeah.
on. I don't know if Kevin Owens got his on Raw. Sammy definitely did get his on Raw. But Kevin's was definitely on WWE's Twitter. I don't think it's likely, but boy, I would love them to come back at the Royal Rumble.
That'd be cool.
Like, it's just
I'm surprised it
Surprise
took
entrance.
this long for Sami Zayn to get over his injury. I did not know vertigo lasts that long.
no. That was it before.
Oh, that was before?
Yeah, he had both shoulders operated on.
Oh, well, that's not nearly as good. Which, by the way, I don't know if he's going to hear this because he has surgery in the morning, but shout out to our good friend Austin Lane,
Yes.
who is having surgery tomorrow, which will decide his wrestling career.
Mm-hmm.
And Austin, if you're listening, we've all talked to you individually, but you should go without saying that we're all pulling for you and we love you very much.
Yes.
We want you to be okay.
And if you move to Cape, your recovery would be surrounded
easier.
by friends.
And
We have 2 hospitals.
and a Krispy
One for each
Kreme
shoulder.
coming.
Yeah, there is a Krispy. They're building a
but
Krispy Kreme.
he can't get the surgery in Cape. He can't get the surgery in Missouri. Because if he bleeds, they'll shut the hospital down.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I said that joke earlier, and I said it again.
Oh, you sure did, buddy.
I thought it was good.
You
All right.
sure did, Meg.
They're like, is there hep in that blood? We gotta make sure there's not hep in that blood.
You got to get tested.
God.
I mean, but in reality, yes, hospital that is operating on our dear friend, don't give him hep.
Yeah, don't give Austin hep.
Yeah. Also,
like-
Don't give
help.
anybody hep. You're a hospital.
Yeah. Well, give some people help.
No, don't give anybody hep.
Specific people.
What is this turned into?
Like if Hitler goes in the hospital,
Give him hep.
Give him
Yeah,
hep.
give Hitler hep.
Give
all
Hitler
right?
hep.
I think we can all stand in 2018 where everybody's offended by something. I think we can all say a hospital could give Hitler hep and nobody will be upset.
Actually, I disagree because what if hepatitis is what brings those bones back to life, and then you have Hitler alive again?
That means we get to beat the shit out of him. Put hep in that body.
Fair.
I don't know. He did some bad stuff the first time he was around. I don't want to second.
I don't think he's gonna have that pull anymore. Give Hitler hep.
Have you
Hashtag-
seen what's happening to this country?
What if he comes back and he's like, you know what? I've had this time to reflect. I've changed my perspective, but people don't listen to him, so they just beat the crap. It's like, you know what? I'm doubling down.
Yeah.
Hashtag give Hitler hep.
No.
No one will ever do that.
No,
hashtag.
I'm trained by barbed
You know,
wire.
you say
I
it's
can-
me. You say it's me. You say I'm the one that lends credibility and like keeps everyone in check. This is what happens when we don't have Allie.
That's true.
Oh yeah, but I will say
Because you're gonna have to tell her. You're gonna have to go home and look her in the eye and say, "Yeah, so tonight we tried to start the Give Hitler Hep hashtag."
That's going on my Facebook right now. Give me a second.
But that being said, Asa, like, yes, Allie wouldn't have let us keep going with the give Hitler hep hashtag. When you weren't here, Shannon and I started the show with F words. Like, there's a different level of it. Allie won't stop us from cussing, but she won't let us say give Hitler hep.
the only one that can actually
saying
leave this show that there's never a consequence is like me. I can leave and you guys are fine. But if Asa or Allie goes,
No, 'cause
the
Asa-
show goes to hell.
Asa still won't let me cuss. Like,
You got a microphone. You're louder than him. Just do it. What?
it's not the Baron Corbin argument.
All right, speaking of Baron Corbin, let's talk about Raw and SmackDown really quick before someone already liked my post. Wonder who that was.
That was me,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't like it. I gave it a wow.
I'm on it.
So, Raw, we'll go back to it real quick, just recap what happened, then SmackDown, and we'll talk about TLC. We already talked about the opening segment with Vince and the McMahon family. Of course, Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin, or Angle beat Corbin, and
With assistance
a
from
bunch of people.
Rude and Gable
And Cruz.
and Cruz and Balor.
I want to know, what do they do?
He was out there for the
Balor was not out there for
TLC.
this.
Okay.
No.
I want to know what they're doing with Angle. I really do, because he comes out in his wrestling gear, almost like, okay, maybe they're actually going to put him in a wrestling, whatever. But then they use him sparingly. It's for stuff like this, and then when they do use him, he always has help. So I'm wondering.
But he didn't need the help. That's the thing. Like,
Well, no, like you said, didn't he kick out? And then they changed the rules so that way.
well, no, like Corbin would get the upper hand.
This was more about making sure that Corbin lost than doing anything protecting Angle. Because
Yeah.
at this point, Angle needs no protection.
He shouldn't. He's
He
Kurt
can-
freaking Angle.
But it's that thing where, I mean, he's older. His body has been through hell and back twice.
How old is
They
Angle?
need to be. They
Like
need to be.
46,
He cannot
48.
wrestle like he used
I'm on
to.
it.
They need to keep him on this limited lights work schedule until eventually, if they decide they want to move him to something more meaningful, which would be a WrestleMania match. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't show up in the Royal Rumble. But like, he would. I don't think. But he's not going to be like number one and gets eliminated 30 minutes later.
Right.
He's 50.
He's 50?
Yep.
He's still a young cat.
Looks so good.
He really does. Such a handsome man.
I mean,
wish he'd grow that hair back, though.
No.
I don't think he can.
He sold the hair to pay for the amazing wrestling ability.
No, he had that before too.
He got better.
It kept him aerodynamic.
Yeah, no, but
Less
like
drag.
you also have to look at the difference between the way Kurt Angle looks and let me pull up the age because this person does not look nearly as good as Kurt Angle at this time.
We'll just say who you are and then tell
Taker.
us the age.
56.
Mhm.
I looked it up earlier. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
so
Which, I mean...
Yeah, Kurt
I don't
Angle
know.
was never doing dives over the top rope like hands
Oh, he was
free.
doing moonsaults.
moonsaults off a cage.
Okay, that was pretty stupid. I forgot about that. Yeah, because Vince wasn't when he went to the back. Vince was like, "Don't you ever do that again." What are you gonna do, Vince? Nothing.
Yeah,
Worry.
Dad.
and it's also like Angle also went into wrestling with a broken neck.
Broken
No,
freaking
I hate you.
neck.
Give Hitler hap.
So you've heard about the Kurt Angle ECW story, but
Like
Oh,
when
the
he went
Raven
to the
one?
when he went to the show.
because he was
Yeah.
thinking about signing with ECW, and they did the Raven
on the cross.
Yeah,
Or it was Sandman on the cross, but it was Raven's thing, yeah.
and then Raven had to apologize, and Angle said, "Don't ever use my footage," and just like completely disowned it. How different history could have been.
My favorite story about that is so Raven went out and apologized, and it was the most blasé apology in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the "I don't give a shit, I'm being forced to do this" apology.
I'm here so I don't get fined apology. He hit the Marshawn Lynch before Marshawn Lynch did it.
Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler went to a DQ after Drew McIntyre came out and laid them both out. That was pretty good, and that's a good setup for a triple threat match, I think.
Yeah.
And that'll be a damn good match too, by the way.
Yep.
I expect Dolph Ziggler to take the fall, but I think it actually will be Finn Balor because I do think this is McIntyre's push to the moon, the beginnings of it. Dean Ambrose fought Tyler Breeze in a pretty good match. Seth Rollins attacked him afterwards, kind of standard stuff.
Yep.
We had the announcements for the returns and the debuts. Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley were in the ring. Elias broke the guitar over his back, continuing their feud. I don't get Bobby Lashley's Ace Ventura talking from my ass gimmick.
No, he's not talking from it.
He's
He's
showing
just
you
showing his favorite pose because okay, you're gonna tell me if your ass didn't look like that, you wouldn't be doing the exact same thing.
If I look like Bobby Lashley, I dare you to find me with clothes on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's already got the wrestling trunks on
Yeah.
What do you think you'd be wearing? A black leather vest and black booty shorts?
and
Mesh.
Fuck off.
And-
Just it'd be.
Fuck off. That fucking headband.
there it is.
Oh, that headband's so sexy.
Oh, God.
That's
Did
my
you see
favorite-
what Sadie posted me that night?
No.
Monday night, she was just like, all right, we all know how Dalton feels about his headband, but how does Dalton feel about Bobby Lashley's butt?
Oh, I did.
And
see
I'm
that,
like, it's better than the headband.
Remember when Bobby Lashley had to turn the headband inside out?
Because it had Nike
Is that
on it.
Nike on it? We had the number one contenders match for the tag team titles. The AOP versus the B team versus the Revival versus Lucha House Party. Revival won, which gut instinct, knee jerk reaction is like, oh, good, finally. But like you said, we'll see.
Oh, we actually know. We won't say it on the air because it is a spoiler. They taped next week's Raw and SmackDown
Because
after
of Christmas.
because of Christmas and Christmas Eve.
Will you
which
tell me?
Apparently, a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. There are some vocal minority fans that are upset that they taped it. Which
Why?
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
They're having time to spend with their family. The same group of fans were probably like, "You're making them work on Christmas and Christmas Eve." Like, no. Like, if you, I think Meltzer tweeted something of just go away and don't come back until you've reevaluated your entire life.
Yeah, like, oh my God. I can't
Like-
describe to you how shitty Christmas is.
As much
You
as
know?
I like having the live show, it's the same thing. Like, I feel like I can't watch. I'm back when I watched NFL all the time because there was a point in my life where like every Sunday, like I didn't.
Yeah,
work
you think you'd be better at fantasy?
Fuck. No, I'm not going to say it again. You're a horrible human.
You said it 4 times earlier. I think at this point.
I'm going to censor myself. I'm taking the moral high ground. Yeah.
You know who has-
Hitler hap.
You didn't say hashtag before it.
You
Hey,
didn't the other
you know
time.
who hasn't said the F word tonight?
Allie?
Allie fucking Abear.
What if she is? What if she's going
She's
around
at work right now,
She's
she's
at work
going,
just,
"Fuck."
fuck this fucking.
But oh god, what were we saying?
Hip.
Oh no! So NFL, Jesus Christ, I never liked watching NFL games if it fell on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, which would happen because it would fall on a Sunday
Right.
or a Monday, and I'm like I'm super happy I get football on this day, but I feel kind of guilty. Like Thanksgiving, it's a tradition to have football, so like you signed up for it, but like Christmas is kind of like, let's not be dicks. They do make it a thing on the NBA where there's always Christmas Day games. And I always feel bad about that, although they give them pretty cool looking jerseys for the day.
But at the same time,
nobody should have to work on Christmas.
I think there's a difference between, like, there are certain people that have to work. EMTs, hospital staff, police officers, firefighters, things like that.
And we appreciate
that's vital.
them.
But I think there's a significant difference between I'm about to just, nope, you know what? I don't even want to go there because it requires way more people to do that than just the players. I was going to say it's a difference between like retail workers having to go in on Thanksgiving because Black Friday has to start at 3 p.m. the day before, and like people who are making millions of dollars to play football and basketball. But at the same time, you also have to factor in all of the arena employees and network employees and the television people working the cameras, stuff like that.
There's a damn cowboy there.
I would like to think that they are all getting sizable bonuses for doing that. I guarantee
not all of them, though. Some people are like, hey, you sign up for the job,
and
this is your job.
And that's what I mean. Like, that's why I said I would like to think that.
Right.
I don't think that, but I would like to think that.
To be fair, if we didn't do this thing here at the store on Christmas and stuff, I would tell Lonnie, I'll work Christmas. What else am I going to do? Sit at home and not have a family? Like, the fact that I get to come here with you guys, and you guys are my family, like, makes up for it. But if it weren't for you guys, or like if I didn't have Allie or Lindsay or Bob, I would work. Right. Because, like, I don't care, you know?
Yeah.
You guys make Christmas for me. So I imagine there are some people out there who just don't care about working Christmas.
Yeah.
But me personally, I think everyone should have Christmas off.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what your religion is in America or wherever, like, Christmas is a family time. Like, it's like the one day out of the year where we all stop being shitty and we, like, try to carry each other, which is ironic because leading up to Christmas, people are the shittiest they are all year. Yeah. You know what? No, Christmas is canceled.
I mean, I was just going to say, like, I'm going to talk so much shit. I'm going to wreck your Christmas because I'm going to wreck you at Smash.
Oh, Jesus.
Just character after character after
blah,
character.
blah, blah, blah,
Put
blah,
on
blah,
random.
Blah.
Show you the mercy. Give me Wii Fit Trainer. Hit you with them hula hoop rings. You're not helping. Go away.
So, before we get to the Smackdown, I just want to mention this. In Red Dead Online, the piano players in the taverns are playing Christmas music.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because me and Bob and Zach were in there last night, and I was just sitting there. We were in a shootout with a bunch of other players, and we were taking a break. And I'm listening. I'm going like, is he playing Christmas music? And I said, Bob, let's get him. So we get up. We point guns at him. You can't kill the piano player.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
So we had to sit there and listen to Christmas music the entire time.
I mean,
That's actually
you
hilarious.
could have left.
Well, we did. And then we got shot by people.
I will say, too, just real quick, Final Battle was this past Friday. Really, really good. The Ladder War match was gross. I'm glad Nick Jackson didn't die because he was real close. Flip Gordon and Bully Ray apparently had a really good match, really entertaining. John Gresham and Gresham?
Gresham
It's
and
definitely
Zach.
not
Gresham
John
and Zack
Gresham.
Sabre Jr. I know, it's like, I heard
That's an author.
Gresham, yeah. John Gresham and Zack Sabre Jr. had a really, really good match, kind of spotlighting why John Gresham is one of the most overlooked people in wrestling today.
The octopus.
Cody
I really love the Pelican Brief.
Cody and Jay Lethal for the championship. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Good show.
I'm going to wait for it to go free on Honor Club.
I'm going to wait for the Botchamania version. Anyway.
I mean, there was a ladder match.
SmackDown, we had Vince opening the show with Becky Lynch and the ladies, Asuka and Charlotte, and that was really good, I thought. Especially the line about Rousey of go deal with it. That, I think, could be a very important line.
It could be, but I also didn't like how he kind of, like, they came out, cut their promos, and then he just immediately was like, you all are just whining. Like, way to kind of cut the legs out from underneath them.
Well, to be fair, they were whining, but that's because they wrote them to whine.
Right. And then he gets to come out and be like, hey, stop doing this thing I'm telling you to do.
Asuka and Naomi had a match, which apparently was very good. Again, I didn't get to see it, unfortunately, but I imagine it would be because those are both super talented ladies. Miz got a backstage segment with Vince. And, you know, to be fair, we talk about Vince and how out of touch he is, and he is. But whenever Vince interacts with people that he doesn't normally interact with, it does kind of feel special. You know, to see Asuka interacting with Vince or Becky Lynch interacting with Vince, it does, I don't want to say credibility, but it does feel a little special. So I think that is a good use of it. Rusev and Lana had an interview where he said that Nakamura looks like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Because he's running away so much.
Oh, God. That's amazing.
I don't even get it, but it just every time I hear that he said that, it makes me laugh.
I'm just imagining gotta go fast. But Rusev's voice. Or Nakamura's voice. Either one.
Gotta go fast.
So,
I don't know which one you were supposed to be there.
Not Rusev because I'm not sexy enough. Jeff Hardy and Joe had a segment that I thought was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a cool segment.
Joe's reaction to Jeff saying, because you've never won a single championship since you've been here.
Yeah, Jeff burned him
so good.
Yeah.
And then but like Joe, like from pure rage to like, I'm going to try to shake it off, but nope, that got me.
Yeah. It's nice to see Joe shook.
Yeah.
Because
you don't get to see that. And then go after him. Hardy hits the twist of hate. And
that sold me.
Yeah.
That sold me right there. Miz and Mandy Rose fought Truth and Carmella, which I get Truth and Carmella a lot of fun, but I think R-Truth is so talented. I always have. And obviously Carmella is money. Mella is money.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they were doing something different with them, but it is what it is. Plus, Miz and Mandy Rose just seems like such an odd combination. Did I miss something? Like, why wasn't it Miz and Maurice?
Because Maurice isn't an active wrestler.
And
Wasn't she doing, like, periodic stuff, though?
I mean, for that specific story.
against John and Nikki. Yeah.
So after that was over, she stopped?
And Miz and Brie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Also, like...
Brian and Brie.
Brian and Brie, dear Lord, yeah.
Yeah. Tough Enough, Hogan, that season with Miz was also there. He was a big fan of Mandy Rose.
Yeah, but I mean, that didn't play into this. This was just...
Well, yeah, no, but it makes sense. Like, it's something they can pull to later.
Miz wants to team with Shane. He wanted time with Shane. Vince wasn't going to give it to him, but he had to go. And if he could win this tag team match, then he would think about it or something like that.
I don't understand.
So it wasn't that Miz picked his partner. Vince picked her.
Oh, gotcha.
And I think Mandy Rose is legitimately talented. Like, I'm a fan of Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
But I think if this Mandy Rose had been around 10 years ago, she would have been the number one female wrestler in WWE for years to come. Because not only is she a great wrestler, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but she looks amazing. Like, she is, I think, to me, the most drop-dead gorgeous model-esque wrestler that is on the right. She's like Eva Marie, but it clicks better in her head, the whole wrestling thing, you know?
It's hard to say that just because, like, if she was around in that time frame, she wouldn't have had as many talented people to work with.
Yeah, she wouldn't have the reason to get better.
Because that plays into a lot of it. Like, you can be a great wrestler, but, like, Kota Ibushi could have a great match with me.
Yeah.
But Kota Ibushi is going to have a much better match with Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom.
Jury's still out. I think we need to see the match with you and Ibushi before.
I don't think we need
Can you
to
do a
see
flip?
Fuck no.
You'd be surprised what you could do.
Look at my fat. No, I am quite aware of what my body will and will not do.
Good Brothers fought the Usos. That was a good match.
First TV match since August.
Yep.
Jesus.
And again, it's like the revival. It's almost like maybe they're going to do something with the Good Brothers.
Mm-hmm. And then but now they're overloading it. They're like, they run the risk of potentially like overcorrecting. Because, all right, well, now let's involve the Bar and Sanity. Let's bring them back.
Let's Spider-Man 3 this and just throw everything into it we got.
Yeah.
They're basically playing a child's toy box. We're like,
God, I do not envy anyone who's working on the creative side of WWE.
Not right now.
I just don't.
I like to think Vince walked by and said, "Fix it." Well, how do I do that? Just fix it.
All right, this is kind of mean. They keep trying to use the push Roman button, but they don't they don't watch the show. So like, why is this button not working?
It's just
why
not
is this button?
It's not lit up anymore. They're like, why isn't the push Roman button lit up? Where is he? God, this is the worst day ever. Things could not be worse for anyone but me.
Worst day so far.
And then we had the main event. It was Mustafa Ali and AJ Styles beat Daniel Bryan and Andrade Almas.
Just say Almas.
I speak Japanese like 2 words. Why can't I say this one name?
Anyway,
Sugoi,
my favorite
Baka,
Hentai,
hentai,
Tentacle,
Toyota.
All right.
My favorite thing
Too far.
I didn't get to watch the match because I didn't get to catch Smackdown last night. But my favorite thing from that was Mustafa Ali holding his hand up with AJ Styles saying, "I pinned WWE champion tonight," and Drama King or Aiden English on Instagram with the Drama King name put, I pinned AJ Styles once. He kicked out. Let's not argue over semantics. Just like, oh, that was a good one.
And then James Ellsworth replied, "I pinned him a couple times."
And then I tried pinning a 15-year-old.
No, he didn't.
He tried.
Allegedly. Hitler allegedly got hep at that hospital.
No,
we don't know for sure.
We haven't gotten him there for the hospital to give him hep.
All right, and then we had TLC was on Sunday, and I thought TLC was actually a really good show.
I enjoyed it a lot.
It was great. I like it. Like we said earlier, there were not many missteps in it, other than like I said, we didn't say it on the air, but like the Ambrose Rollins match that shouldn't have started with a collar elbow. That shouldn't have started with a tie up. That should have been a fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's that thing where it should have started with Sami Zayn, like, hitting Kevin Owens with the haluva kick. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as the bell rings, he just charges him.
But like, and so I was thinking about that when you told me. It's really hard to, it's really hard to do that when you're in a stipulations-based pay-per-view, which goes back to then it shouldn't be called TLC.
Which it goes back to, they should have been in a stipulation.
They should have been in a stipulation match. It's just
Yeah.
one of those, like, you can't overload it with too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm assuming they did it. I'm giving them a lot of like, oh no, it's understandable because you can't do too much in one show.
Right.
But that's the one match to not do that in.
But you had a TLC match that ended in pinfall.
Yeah, that's
and then
also
you had
stupid.
another TLC match that was the women's championship hanging above the ring. Like, you could have made Baron Corbin versus, like, Corbin could have been so cocky and just made it a no disqualification match.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. Strowman's not going to show up.
Right.
I'm going to win by forfeit. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, no disqualification match. Whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And then give Rollins, in which they also suffered from being in between the AJ Styles match and the main event. Like, there was a lot of things working against it, but whoever made the decision to not just make that a brawl,
right.
that was a misstep.
Didn't that happen once also with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy? Not that it wasn't a brawl, but remember the first Matt Hardy Jeff Hardy match was a very technical match.
Are you talking about in like 2003 when they broke them up?
Yeah,
and they
like
had one
in
match?
WWE.
Okay.
And I remember even back then, I remember hearing like Vince or somebody wasn't happy because it wasn't a high flying match because the Hardys
and
weren't
that's the rumor about the Rollins Ambrose match, is that Vince was livid.
Yeah, because it was you expected something else, and like Matt and Jeff had this super technical match, and I was like, well, why aren't they flipping?
Right.
Why isn't Jeff jumping off high objects? You know, and I think that's kind of ridiculous.
But I think this is more of like the Triple H Randy Orton WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
That was just like, it's supposed to be this like blood feud.
Right.
You said he said that he thinks that your brother deserves cancer,
Yeah,
and you want to wrestle him.
yeah. Anytime there's a blood feud and they get in the ring and wrestle, it irritates
and
me.
even just like a little part of me hates that everyone does their full entrance every time.
You'd want to
like-
get out there and just kick ass.
Right. Like, if it's that intense, like, no, yeah, okay, I have this cool, like, I have the music and everything, but you gotta hit all my moves and all my...
So, like, if Bobby Roode was in a blood feud, like, legit, like, hatred,
Right.
and he still does the full glorious,
the full
comes out with the
rotation,
robe,
the
yeah.
glorious robe, yeah.
No, he wouldn't do that. He'd want to kick, unless he was the bad guy.
Yeah, and then
He would be
he's- and
antagonistic, yeah.
Right, but like anytime a face who has been dicked over and wronged over and over and over and over again, like Rollins has been, just kind of like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
here we go. This is my music. Here we go.
Burn it down.
Mhm.
Come out in a little vest.
Like what? You know what would be interesting is, so you know how before every WWE pay-per-view or like every match they do the video package. Have the video package of the first match of the show. Oh, this is all right. Welcome to TLC. We're starting off with Elias versus Bobby Lashley. Ladder suspended above the ring. Seth Rollins' music plays, and he goes like, "No, we're supposed to go on later.
We're doing it now.
Ambrose, get your ass out here.
Yeah.
You
I
want
agree.
this Intercontinental and just like, oh, well, okay."
Well, I don't
like
know,
have the
Seth
commentators be
Rollins.
confused, have the referee be like, no, this isn't, and then you can have like whatever at this point now McMahon come out and just be like, all right, here we go.
But if Ambrose wants him so bad, I would have Ambrose come out and like, yeah, let's do it now.
Yeah.
And yeah. It makes sense. Last thing before we get out of here, because again, TLC was good. Go out of your way to watch it. It was good.
That AJ Styles,
so good.
The AJ Styles Daniel Bryan match alone.
The women's title match too.
The women,
like, holy shit!
Poor
what a match.
Charlotte. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Got the shit beat
When
out of
Becky hit the butt bump off
her.
the
And the table didn't break.
So I forgot to mention, I follow WWE on Snapchat because that's the kind of human I am, and they had like,
What is
'cause
Snapchat?
God, I hate you. They had an angle because like they'll
It'll
do
give you hepatitis.
Give Shannon up.
hashtag.
Hashtag.
They had an angle because like
You son of a bitch.
let me know when you post it so I can love
I was
it.
going to comment on his.
Let me know. But they did an angle of it where it was in like right off the timekeeper's table. So it was right, like you saw her just completely murder Charlotte with that.
God, that looked rough there because we all thought like, oh, her ribs are broken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Something's
that was
broken.
like that was just
the
the bad.
wind is out of her lungs.
I'm
There's-
surprised her innards aren't her outards now.
Yeah.
You know?
because it's one of those like you really can't get mad at anybody for that. Charlotte was in the best position. Becky didn't have a lot of options on where to land.
Yeah.
Right.
It
was the table.
Yeah,
If
it was
the
just-
table
and-
would have gave one like it was supposed to.
She wouldn't have completely just murdered her.
And then
'Cause
you
she
have-
would have went through.
There was someone on Twitter, like there was a wrestler on Twitter who was like, man, don't you hate it when the table forgets the spot?
Oh, that's gonna be on Botchamania
Oh yeah.
because I am the table.
The Cruiserweight Championship match was also really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Cedric
I can't-
Alexander and
I can't think of any matches on that show that weren't good.
I mean, the worst of the matches were good.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a bad like go out of your way. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't super blown away by the Nia Jax Ronda Rousey match, but it could have been significantly worse.
Yeah, and then Becky did get her comeuppance on Nia afterwards, where she just beat the crap out of her.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Bam! Keep my name out of your mouth.
Right.
That was good.
And then in the end, Ronda Rousey came out and cost Becky Lynch the title,
And Charlotte.
which is going to set up that triple threat, possibly, or singles match at the Rumble. I think that was me. I think
This-
Allie's here.
This is a whole other show, but are you happy with if that ends up being a triple threat at Mania?
Nope.
I am. I actually am, because I think that with the way that if they had not had that Charlotte Ronda Rousey match where Charlotte went nuts on her, I would agree. But I think there was so much fire in that, and with Becky and her too, I think that could be an incredible triple threat for that title.
I can see it.
There's so much fire.
I would rather it be just Becky and Ronda, but
And maybe do Charlotte
but
versus Asuka part 2.
I mean, you could do that, but I do think it's one of those like plans change. Becky got hurt, so that it was going to be Becky Ronda Survivor Series to build towards
Mania.
Charlotte versus
And
Ronda
then
at Mania.
the greatest punch that ever happened that completely reset everything.
Oh, Little Mac got hers that night.
Ooh.
Little Mac had that KO built up.
That's been building for a while.
She
She
should have.
hit that B, that neutral B,
She should have shield dodged.
Hit that neutral B is
Maybe
funny.
grab-
wave dashed.
Wave dash. Always wave dash. All right, we got to get out of here because Allie just showed up. Allie, come say hi to the folks.
And
since
she's
you
gonna get
can
real
show.
bitchy if we don't leave soon.
Hold on. Here she is.
Hello.
There it was.
Wait, hold on. Someone wanted to hear your brawn earlier, so since you're here, can you give it to
It
him?
was me.
All right, everybody be quiet, be quiet.
Braun.
Oh my God!
It's almost like he was
Oh.
here.
All right, so we're going to get out of here. Asa, hit us with those links.
Facebook.com/Podzilla1985, just like our good friends have done that we've given shout outs to over the last couple weeks.
And we appreciate you.
Yes, we do. We love hearing from people who don't think that what you just listened to, God willing, you're still listening to this.
3 years
at
he's
this
put up
point.
with it.
Oh, no, I just mean for tonight specifically.
Okay.
We love you and we appreciate you, and we do actively enjoy hearing from you and hope to hear from more of you. So Facebook.com/Podzilla1985 is a great way to do that. Podzilla1985.com for any of our older episodes. You can go and listen to. We did Mr. 100 5-Star Man last night.
was a lot of fun. It
You,
was a fun
myself, and
show.
Allie. I did enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Got into the talk of sex dolls and sex bots and
Which is why Hunter didn't listen to that episode.
and
I'm pretty
who's
sure.
and whose favorite what the cast member of SNL and westerns and
Yeah.
all sorts of just
That-
random stuff
that
that
shows all over the place. Yeah.
which is my favorite type of
Yeah,
shows
our
that
best
we do.
work.
Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. You can listen to our pre-shows. We record all of them for every show. It's only $1, gets you every pre-show we do for the entire month. Those are some of the funniest things that come out of it because it's uncensored, unfiltered.
Laid back. We don't have a topic.
Yeah,
just
we're
whatever.
just ranting and raving.
Yeah.
You wondering what the hell we were talking about when we say Naruto blowjob? You're going to have to tune in.
Christ.
Pay us that $1.
Oh.
Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. Also some other tiers.
You get the exclusive
Eventually we'll-
$420.69 tier where you can hear Allie drop the F-bomb.
Or, eventually we'll set an amount. Just throw a ridiculous amount of money at us and we'll eat that hot dog pie. And
Meet
I
your maker.
think
You're
that's
acting like that's a punishment.
I think that's it for all of the plugs. Other than if for whatever reason you know some poor mentally unwell person who would enjoy our ramblings, share the shows. Let people know about us.
And we are going to be starting that GoFundMe pretty soon for our good friend Shannon, who's trying to get that sex doll.
No, we're not.
Oh God.
You say we, but
It's gonna be
it's
you.
just gonna be.
And I'm going to donate
I
the
hear
money to myself.
I hear Kirk Waters is gonna fund that.
Kirk
He's gonna
Waters
start that
is
one.
loaded. If he would stop blowing his load so quickly, he would have so much more money. All right. We'll see you tomorrow for shit. We'll see you tomorrow for After
No,
Dark.
not again. I can't do it again.
Last show of the year tomorrow, After Dark. It's going to be uncensored and a lot of fun. You guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Later.